good morning. So you may have noticed we have a hybrid situation today. Jackie unfortunately injured her foot, so she is going to be participating remotely today. But she is our chair, so I'm going to turn to her to offer her welcome, and then we can go and do introductions. I want to ask, though, that people who are sitting at the table to use the microphone when you speak, so that way Jackie and Jordana will be able to hear you, because I think that the room noise may not fully get picked up, so if you could use the microphone afterwards. So now I'm going to turn to Jackie.
Hi, welcome everyone. It is a nice day today. So very quickly, I would like us to introduce ourselves around the room and also share something that you think would be great for young people to do this summer. So I will start. I'm Jackie Chang. I am the chair of the New York City Youth Board, and I have a couple of things I think are great for young people to do this summer. One is Shakespeare in the Park. And the other are outdoor concerts that are happening all over our city, including Prospect Park, Celebrate Brooklyn, Summer Stage in Central Park, and all the outdoor concerts at Bryant Park. All right. I don't know who wants to be next, but where's the microphone?
Hi, I'm Chrissy Sudano, and I think kids should go to Summer for the City at Lincoln Center, Jordana.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Shout out.
Good morning, everyone. Natalie Green. I think you should take advantage of the pools in New York City. And so they can learn how to swim. They have swimming courses, or Bank New York has some free classes as well for you that do not know how to ride a bike, or wants to gain skills to ride bikes in the street. So thanks.
Good morning, I'm Ebony, and Natalie just stole both of mine, so I'm just gonna say everything that Natalie said.
Hi, my name is Saif Ulam. I'm a youth board member here. Something I will encourage my young people to do is to volunteer. Like as an example, my community board has a health fair and that offers volunteer opportunities for young people to do the setup for the event. So I encourage them to volunteer for opportunities that are offered for them and gain skills in their resume building experience going into the fall.
Hi, good morning. I'm Shonda. I think our young people should take advantage of our city parks. There are so many public spaces and opportunities for them to enjoy the parks. I think they should do that this summer.
I'm Cheryl Rosa, Mayor's Office of Talent and Workforce Development. For the younger little ones, I would say explore outdoors, whether it's digging in dirt or playing with chalk and riding up in the sidewalks or going to the park. For our older youth is learning how to take the train and getting around and exploring the city. I think that's very important to be able to use mass transit and getting around in New York City.
Good morning, Danielle Chan. I think that youth should take advantage of free summer meals this summer if they don't have the opportunity to get access to that at home. There are programs and places in schools that have that.
Hello, my name is Grant Yanni, Mayor's Office of Talent and Workforce Development. I think that young children need to get outside. Tennis, basketball, football, just run around. No Minecraft. Okay.
Good morning, my name is Ana Garcia Reyes. I'm the Dean of Community Relations at Hostos Community College of CUNY. I think that young people should try to secure a paid internship. One that will give them some experience that they can put and use on the resumes, network with the other professionals that may be part of a firm where they could work, and two, they can get some money too. They can save some money. That's what I think they should do.
Good morning, Greg Hambrick. I think they should, the youth this summer should just visit points of interest in the city. We live here, we take We take it for granted that there are, various points of interest, Highline, Dumbo area, the village. So I think people should explore the city outside of their specific boroughs.
Hi, good morning. I'm Sarah Marks from DYCD. So not everyone is sporty and not everyone does well in the really hot days. So I would recommend museums, especially the ones that offer free admission days and lower price admission for New York City residents and students.
I am Chris Bastardi with Barrow Strategies. I think maybe tutoring someone else in school, maybe younger and someone with it.
Good morning, Andrew Miller. I actually think that young people should participate in everything that DYCD has to offer this summer, from Summer Rising, 110,000 slots this year, 100,000 young people are participating in SYEP, and we actually have a summer safety plan where the mayor has announced that we're going to actually extend hours in selected areas across the city for our Beacon and Compass programs that will run through 7 days a week.
I think I'm going to ask the rest of our DYCD team to introduce themselves as well.
Hi, this is Lily from InterGov team. I would say what Andrew said, I totally agree, but on top of that, I think the young should participate more into IT technology because future is technology.
Good morning, my name is Reggie Gibson from DYCD, and I just want to say one thing nobody mentioned while they're doing these activities: music. Learn and discover music, all different eras you can discover with all the different streaming services.
Okay, is that it? Thank you all for sharing.
I'll say good morning. It's Jordana Lee. I'm the Vice President of Programming at Lincoln Center. We opened our festival today, which is why I'm not in the room, but I'm grateful for this opportunity to zoom in. And I just want to give a shout out that today at 6 o'clock we have Step It Up, helping open up our festival. And we have tons of family programming and programming for young people and all ages this summer. And I hope to see you guys there.
Thank you so much, everyone. And
Sorry, I do want to introduce
for young people. There is so much to do this in our city, and I think that is one of the really wonderful things. And free activities for young people in our city. So I hope that we're able to take advantage of that with our youth. I would like to now introduce Andrew Miller, who is the Assistant Commissioner for External Relations at the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development. So he will be giving our Commissioner report.
Good morning, everyone.
Andrew?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Jackie, speedy recovery. So sorry to hear. But good morning, everyone. I'm a little bit tired. We just got back from Albany. The commissioner and I went up there for the Gun Violence Task Force. We had a press conference and we also had a round table. And we really heard from the families on the impact of gun violence. It was just so tragic to hear mothers speak about having to bury children. So we're going to continue to work on that issue. Last month, the commissioner actually testified before the council on our executive budget. The highlights include the Compass After School program, which started off 20 years ago with initial investment of $47 million, will grow to $755 million. That is an incredible accomplishment, which I think we should applaud. The program will serve about 132,000 young people by fiscal 2028. We actually released the concept paper, so I'm going to ask the youth board to please take a look at that and provide feedback to DYCD. So this expansion plan will happen in 3 phases. First will be an immediate $21 million investment in fiscal 2026. That'll bring 5,000 additional K-5 seats online in the fall semester. The funding will grow to $102 million in fiscal 27 and $136 million by 2028. The plan will also raise, and I think the youth board's going to love to hear this, will raise the provider rates to the new RFPs to stabilize the nonprofit organizations leading these programs to better support the workforce that serves New York City's children. So it's going to really help our nonprofit providers. The mayor also announced $11 million in fiscal 2026 to provide Omni, Tap, and Go cards to this year's Summer Youth Employment Program. And SYEP is actually on track to serve 100,000 young people for the 4th consecutive summer. We're actually also bringing online 100 new runaway and homeless youth beds that will bring a record 913 beds citywide. And as I sort of mentioned earlier, for the 2nd straight summer, the mayor is investing $2 million to offer 400 hours of expanded summer programming across select Beacon, Cornerstone, and Saturday Night Light programs with a focus on NYT precincts with the highest levels of gun violence. I was very pleased to go out to Staten Island, Mariners Harbor. We actually had a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new state-of-the-art center. Very exciting. And I was actually very excited, and I want to thank my team, because we actually had a fabulous dinner for our NAB members down at, yes, it was an NAB appreciation event hosted at Trinity Wall Street Commons. NAB members have been strong, long-time advocates for their respective neighborhoods and gathering. This gathering was really a chance for members to meet colleagues from communities across the city, and we were very pleased that we were joined by Youth Service Chair Althea Stevens. So thank you so much. If you have any questions or... Thank you.
Wait, Andrew?
Yes.
I have a quick question. Within the commissioner's report, there was a section in planning, program and integration and evaluation on the Healing the Herd conference. Because our focus this year is around mental health, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later under board business. Can you give us a little more history? I guess the conference has been going on for 10 years.
Yes, it has.
The 10th annual, right. So, yeah, a little bit about its history, perhaps a little bit about the conference in terms of what ideas were generated, or what, something that's interested that will be supporting specifically youth mental health in our city.
Yeah, as you said, Jackie, this started about 10 years ago. It was held at the UJA Federation in New York with the theme of Money and Bind in the community. I unfortunately was not able to attend, but I will certainly actually hook you up with Paula Calby, who helps us run that event, to get some of the feedback.
Great, thank you so much. I also wanted to add, because within the coverage, I was very impressed by the Gotham news coverage around East Harlem, and how cornerstones in the area are impacting violence within the neighborhood. So I wanted to highlight that and kind of piggyback on what Andrew did at the conference in Albany. Against violence. We play a huge part through our youth programming and impacting our neighborhoods. And Cornerstone and Beacon play big roles in helping with that in our neighborhoods. So thank you so much. I would like to adopt our minutes from our March meeting at this time. Did everyone get a chance to look over the minutes? Can I have a motion to adopt? And a second? Great, thank you. So minutes from March are adopted. Now we're getting to the good stuff. So I would like to now introduce Ebony Jordan Wilson, Assistant Commissioner for UICD for Community Development, and to talk about our fatherhood programs. as well as Natalie Green, Director of Community Action Programs. So I'll hand it over.
I'm just gonna share the screen. Except I can't, oh yeah, I can. It's already sharing. Okay, wonderful. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm not a mic. I'm youth services, so I'm like gonna scream. I'm gonna talk lower so everybody can hear me normally. We're gonna go over the fatherhood program, the iteration that we currently have, as well as the new iteration that's coming out with the new RFP. So our fatherhood programs have been around since 2002, and the overall goal is really to enhance the development of children through the participation of fathers with our activities that we have that relates to the fathers themselves as well as co-parents. And so our current model will end December 31st, and our new model will start on January 1. It right now serves non-custodial dads 18 and over whose income aligns with the federal poverty guidelines. Program staff, each program will serve or has served a minimum of 207 participants with a max of 217 participants or fathers, we use that at the same time. Program staff will also develop an individual service plan to really hone in on the program activities to support each father that's enrolled into the program. And some of those things include parent skills development, co-parenting with the child's guardian, child support, etc. Some of our outcomes, we have 3. Fathers will be able to increase engagement, availability, and responsibility in their relationships with their child or children. They'll also be able to increase material and financial support with their children or child. And also fathers will be able to obtain needed benefits and services. And so that may look in different spaces. It could look like getting SNAP, assistance with housing. It can look like just getting, if they need shoes or, clothes to go to work, our programs will be able to assist them with that. So our program approach is heavily on case management. So we have case managers that support the initiative, and they meet with the fathers and they carve out these plans to really assist with fathers that have a history of domestic violence, or just fathers that really want to just get into their children's lives. Each caseworker has an active caseload of 20 to 24 participants. And the caseworkers are really the glue to this program, right? They're the ones who contact fathers often, every 2 weeks. And as well as they are also the glue to follow up the services once they finish our program. And so we have 6 current fatherhood locations, which are here. And so they're open borough-based, and so we have one in every borough except Manhattan. However, we do have a citywide program that supports all of our boroughs. Expectations, again, is just really focusing on co-parenting activities as well as support sessions for our for the fathers, as well as peer mentoring services for our fathers. We also really focus on the parenting skills development. So there are 2-hour classes twice weekly for 10 weeks. The classes are small, so again, they have 22 participants in there, and they're offered all throughout the day to really align with the father's schedule. So we want to make sure that we're not focusing only on the morning or afternoon or night. We want to make sure that the activities that we're providing is really intentional to support the fathers. And so I will pass it on to Emily.
Thank you, Natalie. So we released a new RFP for our fatherhood initiative back in March of this year. Proposals were received by April 15th, and we are currently processing and making awards for this new initiative. We will go from, with the mayor's investment of $7 million, we were able to go from serving 1,500 dads to serving 3,000 dads starting in January 1, so super excited about that. We will go from having 6 programs to having 17, so we will have at least a minimum of 1 to 2 programs in every borough. So super excited about that. Some of the key highlights and the differences between the current model and the new model is we'll go from serving just non-custodial dads to serving non-custodial and custodial dads. So the new model, and now you become, because I'm just going to talk through this, not the slide. So the new model is also broken up into tiers. So the existing model, non-custodial dads 18 and older, and they have to meet the federal poverty income level. So with the mayor's investment, we're also able to serve 50% of dads that actually are over income. So that's a big win for us because our program said, you know, there's dads that come in with all types of financial situations and still need those services and the help to re-engage in the lives of their children. So that's a win, custodial and non-custodial, plus we can also offer services to dads that don't meet those income requirements. We also removed the age, so it was 18 and older. So we're also want to make sure that those young fathers are also able to come into these programs and receive the same services. There's also a tier model. So we're focused on custodial dads that actually live with the co-parent. You're able to bring the co-parent into the program and receive some of those same parenting skills, services, anger management, everything that the dad receives. So then you have the custodial dads that may live with their child without a co-parent. They can also enroll and receive services. We also have those dads that are non-custodial that don't have zero visitation. There may be a court order in place, so there's a track for those dads as well. And then those dads who don't have visitation, but it's not because of a court situation, it's just that they may have been disconnected, so we have a track for them. So 4 tiers, 4 tracks. Each of the programs will have to enroll a specific amount of fathers or co-parents into each cohort. So we're super excited about that. They also have to be added community projects to that, so dads have to plan and participate in at least one community project annually. Let me see, what other things I want to highlight? Keep going. All right. So we also are attempting to get, and we're working hard to get 7 MOUs with all of our sister agencies that can also support this program. So from Department of Probation, Department of Corrections, so we're seeking 7 MOUs from those entities, from the Office of Child Support, to support our providers and be able to directly refer dads for those services. And not just, here's this 1-800 number, call them up, go to the office, but we are actively pursuing these MOUs to be able to have direct connections to folks in those offices. So we're super, super excited about that. Each dad this year in the new model will also receive a $200 incentive each year. So that was big when we did a lot of focus groups like this, like, hey, we need some incentives. So we were able to add that, so we're excited about that piece. I also want to talk about, we have a fatherhood initiative on Rikers. So this is about 1 year old. So about 2 years ago, we met with Department of Corrections, and they were super interested about having a fatherhood program on Rikers for the dads that are currently incarcerated. So we piloted this in 2024, and we did maybe 2 cohorts with one of our existing providers. We did a smaller version, so our curriculum currently is like 18 classes. We kind of condensed it and cut it down to about 12 or 13, but we were able to pilot like a smaller model on Rikers, which was very well received. The first year we were able to engage about 40 dads. We did focus groups with them. They loved it. They wanted to know how they can get more. We ended up getting a grant from DOJ to actually continue this program for 3 years. So the first cohort under the grant started, they actually graduated yesterday, that first cohort. So super excited about that. We have that until 2028, hopefully. And just amazing things coming out of that program. And so we're super excited. And they're actually working on our current model. So that pilot we started was under our existing model, but when we got the grant, we basically wrote that to mirror our new model that's coming in on January 1. So, say a lot to say, this is our father program. Before I take questions, I do want to leave you guys with our video. It's like, we can talk about it all day, but I want to show you from the dad's perspective what this program means to our communities.
My name is Nigel Boone, and I'm from here, from Brooklyn, New York. Growing up, my father wasn't there, and that was due to gun violence. He was murdered when I was 1, so I never even said the word his father. I'm 33 years old, never said that word. So now I'm trying to be that father. I have 3 sons, so I want to be the father I never had. I'm trying to show them to be men, and that's supporting your family, being there for being there for your friends, and just doing what you have to do, taking care of business, school, whatever the case. I have them in sports, so just whatever you start, finish it. I just want them to see me as a strong figure, and when I say strong, it's okay to cry, but just someone who can always bounce back. No matter if something seems hard or impossible, if it's something you want, you have to go get it. Who's this? I joined the fatherhood because I wanted a brotherhood, and I was also going through some issues with my kid's mother. And then I heard from friends that there would be a place to get that support and resources to help you. But this program helped me to, I would say, we heard people's stories also help. Things that they do, a lot of stuff that, like one of the guys here said they would give their kids books to do. So I started doing that, giving them books to read. Like if they get in trouble, that's a good way to discipline, give them books. The impact I would like that for my child's future is just being a positive image, a positive male figure. So I just want my kids to know that I'm there. I'm with them 24/7, and that's what this group is also about. Just having that support, being there for your child. Because it's tough out there, especially in Brooklyn. I think everyone should have a father.
And that's it.
Great, thank you so much. Do we have any questions for, I actually have one, Ebony and Natalie. Does anybody else have any? Please raise your hand.
Yep, we have one hand raised. Yeah, it's on us.
Can you speak a little bit and perhaps highlight some of the parenthood curriculum? What's in it?
So currently we use the National Fatherhood Institute 24/7 Dads curriculum. So it's 20 different workshop modules. There's parenting skills, there's anger management, there is, I think, how to be a man, how to be a father. So it's 20 different modules. But the core of it is majority of the dads that are referred in our program come from the ACS involved, probation involved. So a lot of it focuses on like the anger management and the parenting skills, because our programs also are able to write referral letters once the dads complete the program, and it helps to support their cases. So, yeah. And then we will move to, in the new model, we're using a different curriculum from the National Father Institute. It's very similar, the same core topics, but what Dad said is that 20 classes is a lot. And so we have a co-fathering in 15 model for those dads who actively, those are the dads that don't have, they don't have visitation with their child. So it's a 15 module, each module is 15 minutes. And so it's just really talking them through those core practices that the skills that you need as a dad. And then we have another module for the dads that actually have visitation, because part of the curriculum is also practicing, right? And so once they go to a workshop, they have to go home and there's homework, right? And it's how to read to your child, how to engage, what questions to ask your child. And then they come back in those workshop settings, and they kind of, the workshops help reinforce what they've learned and what they've practiced.
Great, thank you so much. There's one thing, just going back to, so this year we're kind of focusing our topics around the youth agenda initiatives that came out of from the youth agenda, New York City Youth Agenda. And it is a document that is produced by young people in our city. And one thing that came up was sex education and the lack of it for particularly in schools, that it's kind of getting left out of general curriculum in schools. Is there any kind of integration of that into fatherhood program in terms of how to either discuss or guide, from a father's perspective?
So there is, our team we convene a fatherhood advisory group, which is a group of practitioners throughout the US, right? So we have a few folks from LA and from DC, from Boston and from Ohio that come together just talking about what's happening around fatherhood, what research is being done. And so there is a curriculum called pre-fathering. And so we're working with them to figure out what does that look like on our end and at what level of engagement we should introduce that. So we're also having conversations about that and plan to work with our Beacon and Cornerstone programs to see if we can create a version of that and actually start to have those conversations. So it's definitely top of the mind and it's something that we're looking into.
That's great. Thank you so much.
And one question from the audience, yes? Oh, unless there's more.
Yes, I have the
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have a question actually. So I definitely thank you for giving the presentation about fatherhood. It was very important for a child to have a dad. I watched a Bollywood movie in the past where they talk about a child needs a mother and a dad as well. So that is very important for their emotional and cognitive development. I have a question about fatherhood. Do you guys have events like during Father's Day? Because Father's Day is a pretty important day to connect with their children and their dads.
I laugh because today we're on our third of I don't know how many, and it's only Wednesday, so absolutely. So we do a lot. Part of our initiative, the providers have to do culminating events. It's a part of the RFP, it's a part of what they have to do. With the mayor's investment, this year we have turned it up, way up there. So we have an annual conference every year. And so we had the Affirmative Fatherhood Conference back in February this year. June is always a crazy month. And so DYCD, we're so connected with all of the folks that do fatherhood in New York City, but also outside of New York City. So we're always inviting our dads to different events. DYCD with our programs every year we used to only do a Father's Day event every year. Last year our Father's Day event was at the New York Aquarium. And so we hosted about 200 dads and their families, and they were able to explore the aquarium for the rest of the day. We had speakers, we had food, it was amazing. This year we have a week worth of fatherhood events. So yesterday was our Rikers graduation for our dads that are on Rikers Island. Amazing turnout. They were able to invite their families. There's food, there's dancing, there's a lot happening. That was yesterday. Today we're hosting Fathers and Sons at Gracie Mansion. So about 30 fathers and about 32 sons. And so they're going to get a tour. They're going to receive ties and speakers. It's a whole thing. On Saturday, we're doing Father's Day at the Mets game. So we're taking about 150 dads and their kids, and they're gonna be on the Jumbotron, DYCD fatherhood programs, a lot happening. Doesn't end there. Sunday, actually Father's Day, we have 2 events going on. So we actually have the Dad March, which is going to be in Brooklyn, and that one is hosted by the Dad Gang. So there'll be a march, there'll be speakers, a lot going on. And then finally, from 2 to 4 on Sunday, Kevin Powell produced a film called When We Free the World. We are having dads attend the film screening as well as Q&A. So a busy, busy week in fatherhood. And we do this every year. So, yes.
It's quick, I know. We just want to make sure we pick up for people on.
First of all, congratulations. This is a wonderful program. Quick question. What would you say are the basic skills or the most important skills that a father should have?
Ooh, that's a good one. I will tell you a quick story about our dads that are from on Rikers, all right? So once we did the first 2 cohorts, we did a focus group with them. One of the key things that stood out for me speaking with them was the skills they said they got from the program was really just how to communicate with their child, which you would think is easy. But I had a dad say, I would have never, before the program, I would have never thought to ask my 6-year-old what's your favorite color or what's your favorite TV show and have them continue to talk. It was basically like, you know, when they're incarcerated, all you have is communication over the phone or on a visit, but they struggle to figure out what to talk about. You may be able to connect with maybe a teenager a little more, ask more questions, but a dad said, I didn't know what to ask my 6-year-old. And now, you know, he said, once I said, what's your favorite color? He said his daughter went on and on and on and her favorite TV show. And you know, and so that's huge. And so those key things, just being able to engage and connect with them, I think from listening to these fathers is like, that is the key. And that's the ones incarcerated and the ones that are just in the program actively showing up every day.
I could also add to that too, because I'm going to be speaking at the Gracie Mansion event today.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, so if you guys want to come, I'm bringing my 4-year-old, he's going to be there with me. Yeah. But speaking about the RFP, like the new one that's coming out in 2025, are there any initiatives, workforce related, that you guys have that are also, you know, a part of the program that you guys have added into the new RFP?
So the focus of the program is all about the parenting skills, but there's also a component about connecting them. It's the point of our MOUs, but also DYCD does a lot of that in-house, right? And so along with the MOUs with our sister agencies, we also required each proposer to have a strategic partnership with our workforce team, with our beacon providers, with our cure violence providers. Like they had 7 additional partnerships that they were required to submit with their proposal, and so we can hold them accountable for that. We wanted to make sure that our programs have that direct connection to active, like engage and support the dads holistically. So sure, that's a part of it. It's just not a part of the actual model where there are folks on staff to do workforce development. The core is they have family development coaches that they meet with on a monthly basis, help them navigate those spaces and get them those services that they need, and make sure that they actually receive it, right? Not just referring you and, you know, well, let's see what happens, but they have to prove to us that they actually walk them through the process and they actually obtain that resource and service.
Okay, sure. And we want to connect with you on that, so maybe we can have that partnering agency
Love it.
thing for that. Sure.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Ebony and Natalie. That was so informative, and thank you so much for all the great work that you're both doing. So at this time, I would like to introduce Shadana Murphy, Senior Policy Advisor, Office of Mental Health Support.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I have a pretty good gig, as Ebony and folks were presenting. I thought I get to work with programs like Fatherhood, so I'm excited about that. I'm also excited to talk to you all a little bit about the fairly newly formed Office of Mental Health Support here at DYCD. Created late November 2024, the Office of Mental Health Support focuses on 5 main areas. Our first was in elevating and strengthening the current mental health practices that are happening across the agency. we knew and know that every unit, or most units, have something going on in regards to mental health that support their programs or their providers. There are some that are happening kind of in a silo. We wanted to make sure that every program that has something regarding mental health that other providers, other young people could benefit from, that the agency knows about them, so that there are not units that don't know about all the other mental health services that are happening across the agency. So our initial goal is to elevate and to strengthen those practices that are already happening. We want to increase access to all of those activities, to improve efficiencies across the unit, and to reduce work redundancies. Secondly, we want to create a clear mental health service model for our DYCD funded programs. As of 2024, we've begun including mental health requirements in each of our RFPs and solicitations. The goal of those requirements is to support provider readiness in identifying and managing mental health challenges in program participants. The office works to guide that implementation of these requirements and to create consistency across our programs. The bigger goal is to create a thorough line of consistent service delivery across all of our programs. At a minimum, if you have a young person in a Compass program, we want that young person at a minimum to experience a case manager. Maybe there's a provider that has social workers that are on site. We understand that not every program model can allow for that. But what we want to do is ensure that at a minimum, young people have case managers, and that there is social emotional learning skills that are developed across the programs. While social emotional skills development and mental health are two very different things, social emotional skills development is a foundation to healthy mental health supports across all of our programs. So we want to make sure SEL is evident too in our programs. We want to strengthen our partnership development. This office works closely with the Mayor's Office of Community Mental Health, Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, State Office of Mental Health, as well as lead organizations in the field of mental health to be sure that we are in alignment across the city with up-to-date resources, trends in the field, and that we receive external guidance whenever that's needed. We are currently working with the Office of Community Mental Health to offer suicide prevention workshops for our programs. And so there are resources that exist in the city that we want to make sure we are not missing out on. And so this office works to loop those things, those trainings, those sessions into our programs to make sure we have everything that we need. We act as a resource hub for the agency. This office, for both the agency and providers, offering curated resources to serve the needs, including services to families that have experienced gun violence. Andrew mentioned earlier the gun violence prevention rally that he attended. We have had several families that have reached out to in need of resources for their families, for young people, and so we've been able to provide that to them as well, and to community members in the areas that tragedy has occurred. And lastly, this is an area we didn't think was going to be as big as it ended up being, but we offer internal supports for DYCD staff. And so we have had, just last week I had a director approach us to ask about services or supports for one of her staff members whose daughter happens to have oppositional defiant disorder. So the daughter decides she's not going to go to school one day, and she happened to do it often. What was happening was when the daughter wasn't going to school, the mom couldn't come to work. And so her supervisor here reached out to say she didn't want to go to progressive discipline route because she knew the staff person was a strong staff person. So what do we do? So she reached out to say, like, are there other resources or any resources that I could connect this mom with so that she can manage the daughter better so that she can then come to work? And so we were able to connect that mom to resources. So there are many things that the Office of Mental Health Services is growing and working on, but right now we are filling a gap that exists, which moves to support mental health services across all of our programs and across the agency, both externally developing and strengthening partnerships and internally helping our providers and programs and our DYCD staff members as well. Any questions?
Are there any questions? I'm really looking forward to, I think, for the board to connect with you, Shonda, because our working group is kind of going to be focused around mental health. It really sounds like there should be at least 100 of you.
We're also we're a team of two right now. We are going.
We got to start somewhere. It's so important that the department has made this move and have established your position. So the board would like to support any of that effort and how we might be able to lend perhaps our thoughts and expertise, as well as help shepherd along what you are seeing as important in terms of first kind of, I would like to say, low-hanging fruit action. So again, we really looking forward to working with you. Are there anything else for our guests? Questions?
Saeed?
Yes. So I do have a question. So when I was a CUNY student, I was the chairperson of the Disability and Mental Health Committee in the CUNY University Student Senate. Something I identified with among students is that a lot of students had limited access to the wellness center at their campuses. So is there any resources that you guys provide to provide young people with mental health services if they don't have services on campus?
So for any of our provider programs or any staff people within DYCD, we definitely do have resources for young people who don't have access to. I mean, that is kind of the crux of what we do. We are available to provide resources for that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you.
All right. So at this time, I want to open up for board business. I already kind of mentioned this a few times, that this year our working group will be around mental health. So we will be reaching out to board members regarding participating in this working group, and hopefully our first meeting will be with Ms. Murphy to kind of ground us. I would also like to hear, I think, a little more about the Healing the Hurt conference. Perhaps we can assist in thinking about that for the upcoming conference or future conferences. And we will be reaching out to you about board commitment and also kind of some ideas for participation. So perhaps this fall on how to participate either on as presenters or help us host one of our board meetings or a DYCD event. So have that. I just don't want us to lose conversation around that. Is there anything else that anyone would like to share on the board regarding board business? Thoughts? All right, so we are closing in on 10 a.m. and I would like to motion to adjourn. Thank you. Second? All right. So meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, I just want to give another shout out. I just want to say again that we have Step It Up, which is a DYCD program at Lincoln Center tonight at 6 o'clock. These are the winners of the STEP competition. And if anyone is around, we would love to have you. It will be on our plaza. It will be really easy to find. So again, tonight at 6 o'clock, we'd love to have you see our young people in action.
Yes. All right, so I think our next board meeting is in September. So have a great summer, everyone.
We also, so Jackie, we got a hiring hall on the 18th. Yeah, can you guys hear me? Yeah, we have a hiring hall that's gonna be held in H+H Harlem Hospital, 506 Lenox Avenue. So that's gonna be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If anybody wants a link to RSVP, they can find that at the jobs.nyc.gov website.
Oh, also I do have another event that someone shared with me from my neighboring community board. The Queens Community Board Youth Committee will have their emergency community screening event. And it's going to be on Majority Baptist Church, 115-21 Farmers Boulevard, St. Albans, New York 11412. It's going to be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So if anyone you know is interested in Queens to attend, please let them know.
All right. Thank you all. Hopefully I'll be in person and walking.